Good afternoon, everyone. So, we are here with a concerned citizen, and he will explain to us his concerns over this area.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm LaRonde, definitely a concerned citizen. We're here at Cabana Beach. A lot of people have heard of Cabana Beach, but have never actually been here. Cabana Beach is in Londonderry, right off the Londonderry River behind me, and it's in between Marigot and Wesley. And as you can see, it's beautiful. You have the Londonderry River mouth right here that creates a lovely freshwater pool, clean, beautiful, pristine. And then you have a little beach area. There's a tide in now, so it's wet. But this is the premier black sand beach in Dominica, and it also happens to be a turtle nesting site. It's a protected area. It also is it was a Kalinago settlement, and it is a Kalinago sacred burial ground. So all of these factors come together to make this a very, very special place. In my parents' time, this Cabana Beach was swinging. It was one of the best places, one of the best beaches to come to and hang out. There actually used to be a cabana. There was a structure here. Frobert Laville, that this was his place, and he had a structure here. There's ruins that you can see. But essentially, now this area has become a dumping ground. When I moved back to Dominica last April, the first place we went to after getting out of quarantine was Cabana Beach. And when we got here, of course, we found, trash. That's sort of almost expected, unfortunate. But what we saw was an area that we'll look at in a while, where there were folks starting to dump dishwashers and other goods, items that should not be dumped in an area like this. And we are now well over a year. We're going into 2 years. I've seen this situation get worse and worse over that time. I've done what I could to alert the local authorities, forestry division, these folks who have jurisdiction over beaches in Dominica, which is what I found out. So that's on record. I've done my part to try to let the system go through its protocols, but you'll see that none of that is actually working. So now it's time to reach out to the media, get this situation into the public sphere. It may be a little bit embarrassing for Dominica, for a country that touts itself as the nature isle. But I think that if we're going to call ourselves the nature isle, we really, really need to step up to the plate, and we need to live up to that. And so I'm calling on all the government officials, the Ministry of the Environment, the government, anyone in government, sanitation, all these folks, forestry division, anyone with jurisdiction over places like this. I'm calling them out today to go ahead and address the situation, and we're gonna see how bad it is shortly. Yes, hi. So this is another area. This is actually the area that is on the road coming into the beach on the little feeder road. And if you look behind me, you will see that there's actually some trash that's been dumped right there. And then if you pan that way, you see that the sea is only about 40 yards away. And what happens is like this right here. Okay, we get trash that's been dumped. We might get a surge. The surge will grab whatever, it'll pull it back into the ocean. And if we go this way, this is where it gets really terrible. This is the second area like this. The first area started a little bit up here. We'll walk up there, but this area, as you can see, has basically turned into a full-on dump site. There's a sign that's been posted by Department of Sanitation and Waste Management. This sign, they may correct me, but it's no older than a month, if that. And the sign was obviously posted after all of this was done. And as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that folks have dumped here since the sign was posted. And the reason why these signs make no sense is because there's no enforcement. There is no enforcement. There's no one that's going to take the time to come here, and sit and wait for someone to come and try to do this. And I've actually caught someone who was coming in here with a truck some months ago, and I confronted him on the entry. He had a truck loaded with trash, and I told him, you're not gonna come in here to dump. And he sort of made up a story about he was going to the beach, but he backed his truck up and he left. But who's to say if he came the next day and dumped, or later that day? There is record of that confrontation at the Wesley police station. I did go to the police station afterwards, and it's in records if anyone from the authorities want to check on that. Okay, and I can give you the license plate of the truck if anyone wants to let me know, if anyone is interested in knowing that. So as you can see here, there's everything here. There's organic material, there's tile, there's rubble from demolitions, you name it. It's all here. And most of this will not biodegrade.
So basically, Alex, you are calling on persons who are involved in this to stop. You're also calling on persons who may see or who may know to encourage them to stop. And finally, on the authorities, those who have any power to do anything, to step in and do something. Is that correct?
Yes. I am calling on, well, at this point, this is a matter for the authorities. Because the people who are actually doing this, they obviously don't care. They don't care about the laws. They don't care about the $5,000 fine. And so I'm calling on the authorities to basically do their jobs. So let's go see the next side. And again, all of this is along the entry to Cabana Beach itself. So this area here is actually the first area where the dumping started. When I came here last April, there was some trash that had been dumped back there, and then slowly but surely it has just blown up into this. And again, you see everything from organic material, cane, coconut shells, everything, to vinyl flooring, to galvanized, to you name it, it's all here. Auto parts. So it's all here. It extends all the way. Now it's growing, so it's extending now all the way out here now. It used to be just here. Now we're dumping out to here. Looks like we burned some tires, just random trash. And actually the dumping and the littering extends all the way into the entry here. Now the issue with this is that it is an embarrassment for Dominic. The other day I was heading towards the airport, and I passed some folks that had just come in on a flight, And how did I know that? They were on a jeep and they had their bags and everything, you know, and they were obviously tourists. And the first place they turned into was here. I watched them in my rearview mirror turn into this road, and they were obviously heading in to see what was going on at the beach or whatever the case may be. They may have had someone with them that knew the area. But the thing is that they drove past this. So those foreigners came to the nature aisle, and the very first impression of the nature aisle is this situation right here. And I'll tell you, if I was to come into a country touting itself to be about nature and preservation of nature, and I saw this, I would automatically, immediately, you obviously know, okay, well, these people obviously don't know what they're talking about. They know nothing of nature. Again, this place is a turtle habitat. Okay, it's a nesting site. There is a forestry building there for looking for poachers, etc. But right, not even this area here is not even 100 yards from the ocean, and we have dumping going on. At this point, I want to stress again, I am calling on all of the relevant authorities to mobilize and to come deal with this. It's not gonna cut it just to post a sign telling people that they're not allowed to dump. Everyone knows that you're not allowed to dump trash in areas such as this in Dominica. Everybody knows that. Everyone knows what the fine is. But people will continue to do it unless you enforce the fine. If that means you have to send out police officers, if you have to send out forestry division individuals, officers to come here and sit here every day until you catch someone that you can prosecute and make it a public matter so that everyone else can get the message, let's do that. I'm gonna recommend that Dominica, we really need a park ranger service. Like a lot of other countries in the world, we have very sensitive areas that we need to protect, and we need a ranger service or something like a ranger service that can enforce that can enforce situations like this, prevent this from happening, prevent people from taking sand off the beach. Okay, I mean, we really need this in Dominica. It's obvious because folks are unwilling to follow the law. They really don't care about the law because we have a situation with lack of enforcement. Right now, I'm keeping this situation inside of the country in the local media. I want to thank MO News for making themselves available to come here. As a matter of fact, I reached out to several other media outlets, I won't name them, and asked them to come to cover this, but no one seems interested. That's another problem. This situation is, it's a classic out of sight, out of mind. You can't see this trash if you're driving along on the road, on the main road. You just can't see it. It's obscured, so no one cares. But the people who come here, like myself, people like me and my family, we care. So I'm giving the relevant authorities 1 month to deal with this situation. We're gonna keep it in Dominica. I'm giving everyone a month. After that month, I'm going to take all of my media, everything that I've recorded from here, everything that I have to show the devolution of this situation. I'm going to take it out into the international media. I'm going to start to have to blast this situation in Dominica, and we're going to have to start to blast other situations. So you can take it how you want it. It's not a threat. It's more of a warning, but something has to be done. This trash needs to be removed immediately, and we need folks out here to enforce the law immediately. And we also need those same people to enforce that same law in other places in this country, because this isn't the only place this is happening. It's happening all over Dominica. We are the nature isle of the Caribbean. We need to actually act like we are. We need to get serious about that.